What is up, everyone? MGM here, finally getting a chance to record a video. I apologize for that extended absence to the few of you that may have noticed. So give me a chance to explain what has happened recently in this video. I also hope to reflect a little bit on 2025 and take a look forward as there are new challenges to arise to. Before all that, I should take time to oblige the legal folks and say that I'm in no way compensated for this video, and everything you see on the screen is something that I bought myself. With that said, and something much more fun, allow me to take a moment to introduce Mutation by J.D. Sterling Games, a cool little sci-fi and western tabletop RPG I hope to cover later this year. And next to that is Willow, an interesting little grim micro setting by Shane Walsh and Lazy Lich Games. Willow's out of stock as of the recording of this video, but I will provide links below for both of these if you want to check them out. These represent some of the stuff I hope to cover this year, but more on that later. Now that we've gotten into it, let me start by updating you guys on where I've been and why I left kind of abruptly. For many of you that have followed me for a little bit, you know that I am a healthcare worker. I typically work in hospitals. Well, recently, I had accepted a position for a traveler in that field, which means I go to other states and work in other hospitals, basically. When I did accept that position, everything really happened quite fast, and there was a lot to do to get ready to do that. And I won't detail all of that stuff, of course, because that's just boring. But it was time-consuming nonetheless, and also being in a new place, there's a lot of exploring that my wife and I wanted to do, at least a little bit of it, which we did. So yes, my wife did come with me. And the reasons for taking the traveling job are more centered around my personal life. But when the opportunity came around, I jumped on it right away, and things moved quite quickly. As you may have noticed, the background has changed because I am in a completely different state than I live in. And it's actually been a really wild ride. You will see probably changing backgrounds and maybe other changes that I don't even know that are coming yet. But this is part of the challenges that will be for me to keep recording while I'm on the road. To wrap it all up, going into a traveling position, moving temporarily to a different state with my wife, having a lot of excitement but a lot of challenges on the way, and now finally getting a chance to record a video and tell you guys that happened. So now that I've caught everybody up to what happened, I'd like to take a selfish moment to reflect back on 2025. 2025 is the year that I was able to finish one of the original series I wanted to start this channel for. The first series was my plea for you to play games other than Dungeons and Dragons. And my second one, which was tabletop RPG companies that I recommend. And I stand by those lists. The whole point behind those lists was for me to give people alternatives to the Hasbro game, and that lean more into the lighter rule set that I particularly like myself. Now, I try to put a good variety on those lists. Some games are crunchier than others. Some are very, very rules light. Some are very popular, and a few are very obscure. I think all of them give a really good wide array so that a lot of people can find one game that they really, really like, that really speaks to them with the artwork, with the rule set, combination of both, and that if they just wanted to play one game, especially when we're talking the classical fantasy genre, that they are able to find one within that list. And I'm pretty confident that with the very large amount of especially OSR style games out there in the world, that I gave a pretty good list, and they're all games that I've had experience with. So I stand by that list, and I'm very glad I was able to finish that. A second thing that I was able to get done in 2025 was the world building series, which actually I wasn't sure if I was going to do or not. And frankly, I really did like how it turned out, even though it's rather simple. I've never really broken down my personal creative process or how I use the tools I use the way I did in those videos. And I really hope that that was able to clear up some questions or give some people at least a couple of ideas on how to prep for a game and build a small world, at least a starting world, and take some of the scariness out of it. If I accomplished that for a few people, then I really, really did do what I set out to do, and I'm very happy about that. But I'm happy with how that turned out, and I feel I left enough that if I want to expand on other ideas later, that's totally possible, especially based on what you guys say and what you want. I was even still able to slide in a few GM philosophy and ranty videos, and I know I don't get a ton of views on those, but for the few of you that like to watch it, I still really enjoy making those videos. But I still have a few of those videos also on my idea list, so a few of those hopefully will be coming this year as well. In 2025, I was able to meet even a few more creators of some of the games that I really like and play a couple games with a few of them. And honestly, it's just a really awesome time to be able to get to know people in the community, people that are creating, people that are making this community what it is, and getting to know some of those people, even on the small level that I know most of them, has still been a really awesome trip and really makes me feel connected to the overall tabletop community. And I very much appreciate those interactions that I've had. But at the end of everything in 2025, the need for a very big change in my personal life came about. And that's what brought us to what I was describing to you in the first section about me becoming a traveler in my field. So I already told you about that, won't bore you with that anymore. But why not take a look forward to 2026 while I have your ear for a moment? Now, my plan in 2026 is to really only cover 3 to 5, maybe, of the OSR and or classic fantasy style tabletop games. This is one of my favorite genres and has so many games to look at. I could make an entire career out of just covering OSR games. My interest really does lie in other genres as well. And this is really something I'd like to explore more and introduce you guys to some more of those games. So genres like Weird West and Wuxia and sci-fi and space-themed games like that are things I'd really like to introduce newcomers to the hobby. Some very accessible games that are in different genres if classic fantasy isn't what they're looking for. I love classic fantasy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm going to abandon it forever. I just know that the game systems that I'll showcase on my channel here as far as OSR style will slow down in favor of trying to showcase games in other genres. When it comes to supplements and materials, I'll still have plenty of OSR stuff to go along with the games I've already recommended for you guys. So covering more independent other genre style games, as well as more third-party materials like adventures and settings and things like that. That's what I'm really hoping to kind of divert a little more into, while still maintaining a good ear to the OSR ground for the cool stuff that really catches my attention. On top of that, of course, I still will always have my little opinions and little fun topics that I try to talk about. Even if it's something that might make a couple people mad, I'll talk about it anyway. And 1 or 2 of those hopefully will be coming this year as well. If there's any supplements or other things that you'd like me to cover or something you want to suggest to me, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I do read the comments and they do matter on the channel, and a lot of my videos are affected by the comments. So by all means, please leave some comments below on some stuff you might want me to check out or cover. But I'm keeping this one short today, guys, so I really can't thank all of you enough for making this little hobby of mine worthwhile. 2025 was an interesting year, to say the least, but 2026 looks to be even more interesting. And I'm hoping that will be in good ways for myself, my wife, and for all of you that are watching. I would love to hear from you guys out there, like I was just saying. I know there are hundreds to even maybe thousands of videos and creators for you to watch out there, and the fact that you take the time to stop by here is pretty awesome to me. I might sound like a broken record, but as always, thank you so much to my players. I love you guys, and I love how much we enjoy this crazy little hobby together. And of course, to my beautiful and wonderful wife for putting up with all of it. If nothing else, my people, in 2026, let's hope to maintain our love of a wonderful hobby full of awesome and creative people, to spread that love to others who are looking into the hobby, and to always keep in mind that in the end, we should really just play for fun first. Thanks for watching, everybody.